I'm Mike Huckman at the BioBuzz Center, where I am pleased to welcome Mr. Shaun Grady, who is the Vice President of Business Development at AstraZeneca. Mr. Grady, thanks for joining us here at the BioBuzz Center.
My pleasure, Mike. Good to be here.
So nice to meet you. First of all, let me say at the outset here that we are not here to discuss all of the chatter, if you will, that's in the marketplace and in the media regarding a Pfizer-AstraZeneca acquisition talks. So I just wanted to put that out there and set that aside in the parking lot. That said, tell me about the team that you've brought here, because Bio estimates that there are 5,000 companies here taking nearly 30,000 business development meetings during this week.
Yeah. No, thanks, Mike. No, it's great to be here. It's great to be back in business as usual mode for AstraZeneca. And you're right, this is a huge meeting for us. We've got over 80 people from the company, from AstraZeneca and MedImmune, a good slug of whom are BD people, but we've also got our scientific colleagues as well as scientific leadership and commercial leadership here as part of the AstraZeneca caravan in San Diego. So 80 or so people, and probably by the end of the week we will have had more than 500 meetings with existing partners and prospective partners.
So, Mr. Grady, why do you bring all of those internal stakeholders? Why not just bring your BD team here to do the kind of kicking of the tires?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Well, we actually thought very long and hard about our approach to BD 2 or 3 years ago, and we actually formed an advisory committee with VC and private equity and biotech people giving us insights into how Big Pharma conducted BD. And one of the key learnings from that was actually, it's when you get the scientists together talking about science, that's when the sparks kind of begin to fly. So like we BD people all tend to do the same dance, but it's actually when you've got your scientific colleagues with a deep scientific understanding of the programs talking to the partner that you can really differentiate yourself as a prospective partner.
And just so viewers can understand your pedigree, you were involved in the MedImmune acquisition as well as the Amylin Pharmaceuticals acquisition here in the San Diego area.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm what we call a lifer in AstraZeneca, going way back to the sort of ICI days. And I've been very fortunate to have been, part of the AstraZeneca merger, but then, as you say, the acquisition of Cambridge Antibody ahead of MedImmune, and then the joint acquisition we made of Amylin with our friends at Bristol Myers Squibb was a very truly innovative business development transaction, which of course has led to AstraZeneca now purchasing Bristol's part of the partnership, and therefore the diabetes franchise is now wholly owned by AstraZeneca.
Well, that brings up my next question, and that is the increasing number of moving parts and increasing complexity. And I know this trend has been burgeoning and developing over a number of years now regarding partnership deals. How do you go about that now when they're becoming so much different than they used to be? And is it only going to get more complicated and complex?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question too. We're very firm believers that there isn't a particular one-size-fits-all approach to partnering. We don't have a particular sort of deal structure in mind that we apply in every circumstance and situation. So we try to differentiate ourselves by actually putting the deal structure very much in mind of our needs and the partner's needs and the subject matter of that particular collaboration. So if you look at the deals AstraZeneca have done, and we've actually done a fair few over the last 12 to 18 months under Pascal Soriot's leadership, since Pascal has come in as our new CEO, there is a whole variety. I mean, there's probably more acquisitions than we did in the past, but there's still the conventional risk share licensing as well as the peer-peer collaborations, including with Amgen in the inflammation autoimmune area.
And finally, care to share what you're looking for these days? Are you looking for early stage, mid stage, late stage? Does it run the gamut? Any particular diseases that Pascal has directed you to focus on?
Right, so I think we've been very clear, and it's very understood that oncology, respiratory, inflammation and autoimmune and CV metabolism are our core areas. So that's really where you'll find the 80 people here this week are focusing their efforts. And really good quality science at any phase will be of interest to us, but there's a tendency to do deals earlier than perhaps had been the case for AstraZeneca in the past. The reason being, you then have longer to participate with your collaboration partner to add and bring more value to the program or technology.
Interesting. AstraZeneca Vice President Shaun Grady talking about current day trends in business development in the biopharmaceutical industry. Thanks for joining us here at the BioBuzz Center.